Hello everyone, my name is Ndumiso Mvelase, the owner of Ndumiso Logistics. The purpose of this video, I wish to share with you one of the biggest challenges that I experienced while still starting in the trucking industry. I will just have to recap how did I get the truck and how did I get the driver. Like as I was starting, I got a truck to rent, which came with the driver. So the owner of the truck gave me the truck and his driver. That was for his own security, as he says. And for me, I saw it as a good advantage for me because I didn't have to look for a driver, and the owner knew his driver, that he was very good, and he was very good on taking good care of the truck, and he was very good on driving. So I had all the hopes on the driver that no, he will do the job as expected. Now, one just at our first trip, I remember very well our first trip. Our first trip was from Gauteng. It was from Joburg to Eastern Cape. Our first trip was from Joburg to Eastern Cape, and the driver it took him days traveling from Joburg up to Eastern Cape. It took him like 2 days to reach the customer, of which by the time he arrived at the customer was closing, so of which he had to wait for the following day in order to be offloaded. And truly speaking, I wasn't happy with that, because it took him very long to reach the customer, of which I wasn't sure of which the truck was in good condition, or the driver had a problem. But fortunately, I had an assistant which he was on my side, because as the truck owner told me that he's bringing his driver, I thought maybe it was good for me to have someone who will be my eyes in the truck, of which that led me to hire an assistant, and my assistant was very good. So as they reached the customer in Eastern Cape, they had to wait for the following day to be offloaded, and they were offloaded. And I got another load from Eastern Cape to Durban, of which this driver again took longer than it should be, driving from Eastern Cape up to Durban. But I had no rush. I never gave him any hard time. I only just communicated with the truck owner that no, the driver. I think the driver wasn't for the long distance. Yes, so he was he was not into long distance, but the way he was performing, because he was always tired. He will drive a short distance, then he will complain that he's tired. So the way he was driving, he was showing that he's used to driving locally, the short distance. So on a Friday, because I remember very well, we started loading. It was Monday, if not mistaken, Monday or Tuesday. So in a Friday of that first week of working, I wasn't sure of taking the driver back to Joburg the way he was driving. So I wanted a local load just to see how does he do. So I got a load from Durban up to Harding, and that is just within KZN, that is just within KwaZulu-Natal. So the driver was loaded, off he go. He arrived late at the customer as usual. Then they had to wait for the following day, as they told me. So when I called the customer, because we were delivering, we were to deliver in a hardware. So I called the store manager of the hardware, and he told me that the following day they were not opening as it was a public holiday. Like they were not opening the following day. So now I had to make means of offloading the truck, because the truck was already booked for another load to Joburg on Sunday. So like I tried by all means to convince I negotiated with the store manager to offload the truck, as I was explaining to him, no, that the truck is already booked for another log. Like we thought that it would be offloaded in a Friday or Saturday. So on Sunday definitely it is to leave to Joburg. So like he agreed to offload us, and he told us he told us that he will offload us on in the following day, because it was already late on that day. Now, the day come when the truck has to be offloaded. When the store manager arrived at the store, at the hardware, there was no truck. The truck was not there. Was not there. When I called these guys, like the assistant told me that they just went off from the hardware to the store. When I called the guy, when I called the driver, because the assistant was outside the store, then the driver was inside. So I tried to call the driver inside the store, but I couldn't reach him, of which it led me on calling back the assistant, excuse me, to tell him that the store manager is there to offload them. They must hurry up and go back in order for the truck to be offloaded. When the assistant went in to call the driver, like the driver didn't want to go on offload, of which it came to my attention that the driver was in a tavern, and somehow he was in a tavern and drinking there, of which like when we were speaking with him, like he told me that no, he like, for him it was off. They were going to offload on Monday. They were going to offload on Monday or Sunday, because they were going to offload on Monday, on Sunday, because the store was closed on Saturday. So like he told himself that it was a day off for him, and for me it was like something which is not acceptable, totally acceptable, because this guy he's in work. Number two, he took off the truck on a location where we were offloading to the tavern. Just imagine driving with the load, the full load, 34 tons, to the taverns. Like for me it was something which is like I felt like it was being irresponsible. So like I called the owner, because like it was out of my control. So I called the owner of the truck and tell him of what is happening, and the owner spoke with his driver. Then fortunately he made it to offload that load. But from there, like for me, it was very clear that I don't have a driver, because like as he took too long to move from the from the loading point up to the offloading point. Like I wasn't sure of which he was drinking all these days, or what was happening, what was his problem, because even like he was failing even to do just a minor thing, just to travel a short distance. He was taking too long, of which for me it was a bit confusing of what was the problem. So after this incident, like I just saw that no, I just realized that no, I didn't have the driver, because the truck was very good, but the driver, no, I didn't have the driver. So I spoke with the truck owner, because this was affecting me big time. I spoke with the truck owner, and then the truck owner like had another driver, of which had another driver of which he said was very good, better than this one, of which the first one is, he told me that it was the best. So like for me, I didn't understand of how best is this second guy now, because even the first one was the best. But I met the second one, but what I did with the second one, I had to interview him, because now I wanted to be sure of he's good with the driving, how is him with the long distance, and I had to get the references now, because I wanted to be sure of what I was being told, because this was killing the business. So fortunately, the second driver was very good, and the second driver was good with driving the truck, reversing, because it's more important for the Superlink driver to be able to reverse. He was good on reversing, he was good on driving, and then he had a very good references, because one of his references was closed, was located where I was at that time, so it was easy for me to call and meet his previous employer, and then they recommended him, of which from there I had a driver. Then we take off the one that had problems. Then the one which was promising came in and drove the truck. For me, it was a big relief. For me, it was a big relief, because now this new driver was doing exactly what I had in mind when we're speaking of a good driver. He will load on Monday, and the following day he will be in Joburg. He will load in Joburg. The following day will be in another customer, and he will make it there early, 7:30, 6 o'clock. He will be there, waiting to be offload in a queue if there's a queue. It was a very good experience of working with such a very good driver, because by working with that driver, I learned of what we mean when we're speaking of a good truck driver. This guy showed me that. This guy gave me that opportunity to see of how is it. Gave me that experience of how is it to work with a good driver. This guy was very good. He had all the love for his work. He knew what was expected of him, and he was willing to go an extra mile. So from there, I was so happy, and the work was smooth. So now, what did I learn with this thing of with the driver when operating or starting in a trucking business? Yes, it's an obvious point of that. We have to make sure that the truck is good, the trailer is good, but now the driver is the most important resource when working in the trucking industry or in a transport industry, because now this driver is the one who's responsible for the truck. He's the one who's responsible for the load, and he's the one who's responsible for your reputation of the company. He's the one who's responsible for the image of the company, the way he communicates with the clients, the way he conducts himself when he's with the clients. His behavior, the driver is everything for the company, for the transporting company, truly speaking, because he's the one who communicates as he's the one who communicates with the clients. He has to be a good listener. He's the one who's looking for the offloading points, the different offloading points. He has to remember he has to remember the directions very well. He has to be in good use of of an instrument of finding direction. It could be the phone, the GPS. Like he has to be able to think. He has to be able to manage himself. So I found that the driver is a very important resource in the trucking industry, of which I advise that when you're hiring a driver, you must be sure of the person you are hiring, because he can make you money, he can make you to make money, he can make you to lose money, he can grow your company, or he can be reason of the failure of the business. You can be good in business, but if you don't have a good driver, that will lead you to failure. That's one thing for sure. The driver is everything when you're speaking in the transport industry. So that's how I learned with the driver. Hope hope this will work for you, because this thing of taking things for granted, of taking other people's weight, it's a very important thing to be aware of. Like when it comes to a driver, there must be references. There must be a CV. You must see him driving. You must see him reversing the truck, going forward. You must be with him in a truck, driving the truck if it's possible, or else you must hire someone else to do that job for you, in order if you are not able to do it, because the driver is the most important resource in the truck. Thank you very much for the time. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And if you need to be in contact with me, you can WhatsApp me on 072 977 4411. But I will leave my contact details on the comment section. You can WhatsApp me on 072 977 4411. You can leave me a message for me, then I will get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks a lot for watching. Please stay blessed. Thank you.